Viltrox just made the Noctilux for the Fujifilm cameras. As a photographer, I always say that lenses are the most important thing in their lives. Well, that stayed true through my entire career. I always look out for those special rendering lenses, just special looking lenses creating those special images I really like. Things such as the Voigtlander Super Nocton 29mm f/0.8 and the Canon FD85mm f1.2L, and also some of the Leica Summilux lenses. There are some lenses from Fujifilm that I also really like too, such as the 50mm f1 that I tested last year, and that is still, to me, one heck of a lens. But Viltrox may have just created something that I think not only can rival the Fujifilm 50mm f1, but also in terms of rendering, very close to what I've seen from the Leica Noctilux. And that's a very big praise from me, having used Leica exclusively for about 3 years before I moved on to Micro Four Thirds, and also used some of the best lenses in the world for my entire career. And Viltrox has just done something really special right here. And this is not their kind of top-end lab series of lenses, this is just the medium pro range. But to me, I think the optical formula and the images that it creates is something of a special thing. So I think it's worth bringing it to attention and show you some of the sample images before I talk everything about this lens. See what I mean? They are indeed very special. Very shallow depth of field coming from 1.2 lens on the APS-C format, but not just about shallow depth of field, it's about the actual aesthetic, about the rendering of the lens that really caught my attention. When Viltrox first contacted me about this very lens here, I just thought it would be another portrait lens. But after testing it for about 3 weeks, professionally on a daily basis using my XM5, I actually love every single frame of it. Every photo that I generated from this lens is special, whether it's good or bad. I just love the look of it. When it comes to sharpness, well, this thing is really nice. And I wouldn't say that it is ultra sharp when shooting 1.2. It is a little bit soft, but I wouldn't say soft to the point that I would have to sharpen it with using AI and things like that. It is sharp optically at 1.2, but just when you're comparing to, let's say, stopping down to 2.8 and f4, yeah, you will get definitely sharper images with those aperture setting. But it is totally, utterly usable at 1.2. But shooting at 1.2 is what brings out the character of this Viltrox lens right here. And to me, that is very special. It's not just about subject separation. I know many people love that sort of separation, shallow depth of field, having it pop from the subject. But what I appreciate is how it renders from the focused to the defocused area and the transition from those 2 points. It is very gentle, very lovely, very organic. Other attributes such as the Loca and chromatic aberration, distortion, and vignettes are, well, literally non-existent. Sorry, apart from vignetting, you do have some dark corner shooting with 1.2 to f2.8, and it will slowly disappear quite gradually as well from 3.5 onward. By f4 and 5.6, you probably won't even notice it. However, I have to note that, yes, even though that I said that some of those attributes that is non-existent, doesn't mean that this is completely flawless optically. You do require lens profile to correct some of the attributes that I just mentioned, although I have to say and stress that chromatic aberration is very well controlled optically. So is ghosting and lens flare, providing that you use the deep lens suit that is provided, and it should be fine in all kinds of lighting conditions. Another thing I like is the speed of the autofocus from the Viltrox 56mm f1.2 Pro. Simply stunning. Working with the XM5 that are right here is just simply magical because I haven't missed a shot so far. There was a couple of frames that I missed, just like all the other lenses, but the hit rate is over 90%, which is quite surprising considering, a lot of the portrait lenses and all of the heavier, faster portrait lenses are usually fairly slow, especially those full frame lenses. And yeah, I haven't seen any deficiency or sort of misframe or any sort of slowness that I can experience from this lens. So well done, Viltrox, very well done. So before I talk to you guys about 3 things that I don't like about this lens, let's talk a little bit about the build quality and the handling of the lens. Well, first of all, this is a pro lens, as Viltrox has stated, not the lab, but the pro lens. So it's just kind of like a mid-tier lens, but any sort of pro designation with Viltrox means that they're fully metal built and also weather sealed. So it's still a great lens, to be honest. So it may not have the lab series kind of quality optically, but it has all the other attributes such as the build quality and the weather resistance. So no complaint there. Focusing ring is very heavily damped, so I like that feel of it, but it is an infinity ring, so yeah, it would just spins forever. So something that I will talk a little bit about in my dislike section. And also, aperture ring is good, yes, very clicky, but very subtle as well. But you can definitely feel the click, but it's just not too loud, so it may be good, but I'll also talk to you a little bit about that in my dislike section. So overall, I would say that it is good, I like it. So what about handling? Well, I would say that it is okay if you have a bigger body with a bigger grip. Any small body like the XM5, for instance, is going to be quite hard to hold, to be quite honest. I have to use the smaller cage with the grip to hold it properly, but that's fine. That's been kind of what I'm using for the past 2 months, so that's not a problem. However, I have to say that this lens is not light. It is actually pretty weighty, even though its size may suggest otherwise. But overall, I would say that, you know, it is what it is. It is ultimately, it's still a 1.2 lens. And don't forget that Leica Noctilux also weighs a ton as well, considering the size of it. When you throw it to a Leica M, it just doesn't really fit well. So I would say that it is okay, you know, considering what it is. So now let's talk about 3 things that I would like to see Viltrox improve in the future. Well, first of all is the aperture ring. Right, I already said that it's clicky and quite subtle, which is okay if you are using for still, but for video people, well, you can't declick it. Although on the other mounts, like the Sony E mounts, you can actually declick it, just not on the Fujifilm X mount, which is a little bit unusual. Another thing I don't like about the aperture ring is that it lacks the auto lock, which features some of the Fujifilm lenses, because you can accidentally turn the aperture ring and mess up your exposure triangle. And the focusing ring, yes, I already said that it is an infinity ring, means that, well, manual focus can be a little bit problematic if you are using it for video. You just simply not be able to gauge the actual speed of the focusing, which means that racking focus from point A to point B can be possibly impossible. Possibly impossible? Well, anyway, impossible. And the last and final thing, it has to be the weight. Yeah, it is heavy. You know, I have to say that for the size, it is quite weighty. I know it is a pro lens. I know it is a metal build body, which we all like, and also proper glass elements that we also all appreciate. But, you know, lighter would enhance the handling side of it, making it using in smaller bodies, smaller mirrorless bodies a lot better. But then again, you really want to feel quality, so yeah, I can gotta give it a draw. But to me, you know, given the fact that this is supposed to be a performance lens, and I may want it to be a little bit lighter so I can use it for a little bit longer without feeling strain in my wrist and my arm. Oh, and one more thing, one more annoyance I would say, is that it doesn't have a AM/FM switch, which I would have thought a pro lens of this caliber at this price point would have one. Unfortunately, there isn't one, so yeah, you have to engage and disengage autofocus via the menus or a designated button on the camera. So yeah, this basically are all the things that I would like to see Viltrox improve in the future pro models, especially for the X series cameras, because I know that the E mount has other features that this lens don't have. So yeah, maybe next time, maybe next time. So this is it, folks. This is the review on the brand new Viltrox 56mm f1.2 Pro for X mount cameras. Would I recommend it? Heck yes, get it. Well, without considering price, this is already very special. I love the rendering, like I said so many times. I'm getting very animated when I talk about the look of the images, and this will give you that look. Amazing, amazing optics. It is one of the best, if not the best, Viltrox lenses I have tested and used for the past few years. I know they have the brilliant lab series lenses, but I've only so far experienced the 135 for the Nikon Z. I haven't tested the latest 35 because that's for E mount at the moment, so don't have the Z mount, so I haven't been able to test it in full. And also, I know they also have the Pro 85 for Sony E, just not for the Nikon Z yet. So I'll be curious to see whether the 85Z will be having this special feeling in terms of rendering compared to the 56 right here. But for now, this is definitely, in my eyes, one of the best Viltrox lenses ever. Really cool, really awesome. And now I just have to get a weather seal body to go with this lens again. Because the XM5 isn't. Anyway, it is really good. Let me know in the comment section below what is your current favorite portrait setup, what is your favorite portrait lens, because I would like to hear your selection or your choices, because I would like to, you know, have a look at what you like and also compare to what I like to see whether I should be checking out some of your choices as well. And yeah, that will be curious to find out from you. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and leave me some comment down below what you think about the Viltrox 5612. Do you like it? Do you like the images you see? If you do, yeah, let's have a chat. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and don't forget, if you like this video, give me a thumb, and also subscribe if you haven't already done so, and also stay tuned with all my future review on Viltrox lenses and other also quirky lenses and accessories as well. Until next time, I'll see you all very soon. Peace out. So welcome to the bonus sections, and yes, I genuinely very much like this lens. The 5612 is special. I have used many Pro series lenses from Viltrox in the past. They are all great lenses, but I don't think that they were that special. They're good value for money, and that's probably it. Now, this is something else. I like the rendering, I like the look of it. I just think that this is perhaps, you know, the best thing they have done so far. I know they have the 135 Pro lab that I have tested with the Nikon ZF. That is also very special, but that's a behemoth. That's a massive beast. I'm still waiting for them to release the 35 lab for the Nikon Z, so I will be able to test it in full. So I'm still waiting. I know they already have the Sony E version, but I don't have any Sony camera to test with. So yeah, at the moment, I'm just waiting for the proper Z versions to come out. And also, I know they also have the 85 Pro also for the full frame as well. But again, they only have it on the E mount, but not the Z mount. So I'll be curious to see the 85 Z will be that special compared to this on the APS-C platform. But regardless, I think this is still standing on its own. If you've got APS-C camera, this is possibly one of the best portrait lenses you can get on the market right now, not even considering the price. With the price, God, this is a bargain. Really, really that good. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and yeah, like I said, let me know in the comment section below what sort of portrait setup you use at the moment for your camera system, and yeah, what is your favorite portrait lens? I would like to hear from you. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now. Peace out.